Hey, welcome to Kinfolk Carpentry. I'm Dylan Sider, and today we are doing a mudroom floor in my own personal house. But I also want to chat with you about a new tool I bought this week that I think you guys are going to love. So stick around. All right, so this is the mudroom. This is a space. It was a bit of the spur of the moment. I was working in a client's house on their laundry room, and they were getting rid of these. They're going to stackables, and they're like, do you know anyone that would want them? And I was like, yo, I'll take those. So in bringing those home, my wife is like, why don't we like paint and redo some stuff? So that's why I'm here. And there was an old center nasty light in here that I ripped out and skimmed out the ceiling and put in some can lights. That was last week, and did some painting. I painted all the doors in here. I've got to replace all the outlets and stuff to white. But yeah, that's what's spurring this on. But I'm doing the flooring today. This is a old tile floor. It's actually in pretty good shape. There's no cracks, no movement, so I'm just gonna go over it with like a click down life-proof flooring. Give it a little refresh. You know, I think this floor is completely fine to go over. It's nice and stable. So that's what I'm doing today. So follow along with me as I do that, and also show you this sweet new tool I bought that I'm super excited about. So stick around and yeah, watch me crush this floor. So the tool I bought this week is this baby right here. It is a 7 1/4 inch Makita miter saw, the LS0714. The very cool thing about this, and why I'm gonna switch to this over the cordless DeWalt 7 1/4 saw that I carry and I use all the time, is that this is actually a double slider, as you can see here, and it has a cut depth of, look at that, 12 inches, baby. That is why this thing is superior to the DeWalt. And it's honestly, it's better in every way than the DeWalt, other than the cord that's attached to it. It's not cordless. But honestly, I think that's a fair trade, because a lot of the times when I'm using a miter saw, I also need a table saw, and I don't have a corded table saw. Cordless table saw. I only have a corded one, so I need a power cord anyway. And I don't work on job sites that don't have power really ever. Mostly do remodeling, so yeah, this thing that won't be a hindrance to me. You know, I'm going to show you some more features as we go on here, but this thing is wicked. So in theory, splitting the 3/4 and 3/4 and then full tiles in between is a great idea, but the tile installers way back in the day thought of the exact same thing, and it's putting the seam of my flooring on grout joints, which I do not love, because really this floor, though it's rigid, and I picked it because it's nice and stiff and it can float over grout joints and things, it's just relying on clicking together on that little bit there, and if you're putting that seam right on an inconsistency on a grout joint, I'm kind of afraid of it putting too much pressure on that. So I'm gonna not center the floor and just run a full one, and then only have half a tile here, which I don't think will look bad. It's my own house. You know, I'm the only one who's gonna have to look at it. So that's what I'm gonna do, just for the integrity of the floor. Boom. All right, let's dive into it. This is the DeWalt I've carried for years. 4 years, I would say, I've had this saw. It's been great, but it certainly has its limitations. I do a whole video on this that you can watch, all the specs on it. I still recommend the saw if you have DeWalt batteries. I think it's a good option for sure. But why I think I'm going to switch to this saw and why I'm going to carry this one in my truck instead of this one and potentially sell this saw is this saw, I mean, the main thing is the cut depth for sure, that it cuts 12 inches, a full 12 inches, which this one will not do. The cut depth on this guy at 90, it'll cut out 8 inches, like a 1x8, whereas this will cut a full 12 inches deep. I think here is another big difference. Right here, you can see that this thing spins at 4,100 RPM, and this one is running at 6,000 RPM. So this is a whole lot more powerful. The blade spins a lot faster, which is going to give you a cleaner cut. It's going to be better to cut harder materials. So it's definitely superior in that way. Alrighty, cruising along on this floor. I just got this piece finished, which is a big one. It's one of those ones that you have to cut like 20 times. Going good. The locking mechanism on it is just relied on like a little bit of friction up and down to keep it locked in. I've never really had a problem with it locking in. It's kind of hard to lock it in on like a half degree. If you're not like careful with it, it can kind of bump out of position. And the maximum you can go is like 47 degrees. Now back to the Makita. It is a twist lock, so you can tighten it right up, like real tight on half degrees, quarter degrees, and it's gonna stay firm. And it also will cut like 57 degrees. It's indicated that it'll cut 57 degrees, but it'll actually go a little past. And then it's the same on this side. It'll cut that 47 that the DeWalt will cut. Another thing that DeWalt doesn't have is this little feature here where you can flick, move that over, and it'll stop your cutting depth so you can actually like house something out. If you need to just like notch a board or something like that, it's capable of doing that. And another thing it will also do is it'll go 45 degrees this way, but it will actually go 5 degrees past 0, which this saw won't do. It'll only go 1 degree past 0. So what that does is it allows you to back bevel something, which comes in very handy. Because the saw is so deep, it gives you a adjustment foot out here that you can adjust down to your table to make it nice and stable from tipping in and out while you're cutting wide boards. One thing I think is cool that this saw has that I've never seen before is a guide to cutting crown molding on the flat, which I've never been a fan of or never really tried. I prefer crown stops on my big saw, but maybe I'll have to give this a try sometime. It's kind of cool that it gives you all the information you need right here to do that. So, as far as I know, I did a little research. The Makita, they make a cordless version of this saw that prices in at $749, I believe, at Home Depot, which I think is a crazy price. And then the Metabo is the other one that will cut a full 12 inches. And that one is also crazy price, like almost $800. I'm not saying you can go out and buy one of these for 90 bucks, but you certainly can find them, I'm sure, used places for quite a bit cheaper than what you're gonna find in a corded version. So, boom. Another job done. Got the mudroom floor all completed. The Makita came in clutch with those 12-inch cuts, and it looks great. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again on the next video. Peace.